In this story, I visit the roads not traveled. I'm Joanne Green. What if my parents had said yes the summer I was 15, when I begged them to let me go to Woodstock with my then-boyfriend Sandy?
All right, friends, you have seen the heavy groups. Now you will see morning maniac music.
Whom they did not trust. They weren't convinced that he was paying for the gold and opal jewelry he was giving me from the jewelry store where he worked after school. What could possibly go wrong if we were to drive to upstate New York with a few of Sandy's friends for a 3-day music festival? True, I might have taken a drug, danced naked in the rain, or, God forbid, gotten pregnant. Or I might have joined a cult and never returned. Perish the thought. I wonder how different my life would have turned out if I had pursued that job post-college at the Young and Rubicam Advertising Agency in New York City. My brother had hooked me up with the creative director, and my foot was practically planted inside the door of his office. But all I could see was a descent into crass commercialism, a career convincing people to buy things they didn't need. So much makeup and designer fashion. Like sororities, the scene just didn't fit my image of myself. I, at the time, was an aspiring fine art photographer and loved walking up and down the streets of Manhattan capturing faces and pigeons and storefronts. Thanks, but no thanks. I wasn't sure what I wanted, but this decidedly wasn't it. There were so many roads I could have remained on, but instead made a sharp left or U-turn. My first boyfriend in the San Francisco Bay Area, where I wisely chose to move in 1975, was Terry. Sexy, African-American alto sax player, a dancer, a sweetheart. Dropped out of the physics department at Cal. Lived in Berkeley near the jazz and R&B radio station where I worked and to which he listened. My lunch hour might have included a quick trip up Ashby Avenue to his house. All was delicious until he invited me to his mom's for a meal, and his brothers wouldn't speak to me. I guess my whiteness was blindingly bright. Over time, our cultural differences grew louder, and we drifted apart. But had we stayed together, I wonder what my life would have looked like. And what if Fred, my husband since 1980, and I had gone for the third kid? Our first 2 children were healthy, happy boys. Nailed it. Fred was then traveling about a third of the time to ballparks and stadiums for the business he started. And it seemed like my hands were full with a full-time radio career, 2 toddlers, and a Swedish au pair who, go figure, would sometimes stay out all night and be fresh as a daisy the following morning. Had we gone for it, we may have had a daughter. A daughter who might have developed eating disorders like me, who might have worn inappropriate clothing or chosen friends who were a bad influence. We may have had a daughter who by now might have discovered a cure for Alzheimer's or written a Pulitzer Prize-winning novel. In the end, we realized that the kids shouldn't outnumber us, and we just couldn't find the right third adult to join our little family. And so we quit while we were ahead and have never looked back. The roads not taken are a big mystery, a frivolous sojourn down the path of what if. Better to imagine the choices you still have time to make and then carefully make them. If you enjoy the memoir-style micro-essays that I read on In This Story, please consider checking out my full-length book entitled By Accident, A Memoir of Letting Go. It's now available for sale on Amazon and Audible as a paperback, audiobook, or ebook. You can also order a copy through your favorite independent bookseller, which could use your support. Speaking of which, thanks so much for your support. Again, the title is By Accident, A Memoir of Letting Go, by yours truly, Joanne Green.